Okay, so picking up from the
Sounds good.
stream, let's continue this with the third team. Let's just make it update
Okay.
real fast. There we go. The Plymouth Panchamps. What do you think about this team? SharkDad?
Purloin as a first round pick it definitely took me by surprise. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can
Can
you hear
you?
me?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So Purloin as a first round pick took me by surprise because Riolu was available at the time, which
Yeah.
seemed like a better option. Um, but I think that they've got a really strong Firewater Grass core with Scorbunny, Mudkip, and Trico. All
Oh
three
yeah,
starters,
absolutely.
all three have have decent base stats. Um, I like Swablu also as an A tier pick. I think Swablu has a lot of cool utility that it can do.
Absolutely, I love
Um,
that one.
and then Pichu is a solid fake out mon with speed control with Electro Web, I think.
Yep.
So other than that, the only reason that I'm angry at this team is because they sniped my Silicobra, which was one of the mons that I wanted really bad. I've got a really evil Silicobra set that I wanted to use.
Oh no.
So yeah, it's I was gonna use it in regular DPEC, but it wasn't quite good enough, and then
Ah,
I figured I could get away with it in draft.
I see.
But I won't reveal it in case they wanted to if they had something similar in mind. I would hate to spoil it.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Or just give
but
them ideas.
or give them ideas, right?
Yeah.
Maybe if they can't think of anything, then they'll trade it out, and then I can pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, but overall, I think it's coverage wise, I think it's really well rounded.
Yeah.
Um, The only thing that I think that they will struggle with is speed control.
Absolutely,
They've
I
got
agree.
the Pichu and Swablu may get Tailwind, but
Yeah.
I don't think they have a great answer to Trick Room, which I think is one of the big problems.
Yeah, they don't even have a Trick Room setter.
Yeah,
So that is
or
kind of their
really a way to
weakness.
stop Trick Room from going up if their opponent has a really strong Trick Room option.
Yeah, it's like Purloin and Pichu fake out pretty much.
Yeah,
Uh,
so
yeah. Uh, but I think the team is decent still. It would have been better if it had a bit more speed control, I think, though.
mhm. Yeah,
That
agreed.
was definitely the weakness of the team. Uh, let's move on to the fourth team of the Osal division. Uh, this is also one of the uh, players who has played in DPEC for a longer while, Wendell.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
so right in the beginning of the draft, they grabbed two really good combos. What do you think about this?
I this happened and I was just like, guys, why did we let him get free leap? Like on the first turn, like
Yeah,
how did no one snipe that? How did we let that happen?
yeah,
Um, so it's obviously it's terrifying as someone who's gonna have to probably go up against it at some point during the draft. It's terrifying
yep,
that he's got the hail combo with Alolan Vulpix and Sand Slash and free leap. Like
yeah,
that's very it's a lot of offensive pressure to have to try to prep for and deal with.
yeah. And also, I think the Pokemon outside of the A and S tiers are really good as well. They can do some weakness policy stuff with Dratini and Vulpix, which is really nice. They have Rookd, which is also always a really good C tier flying type for
Mhm.
both Airstream, and I also think it has Tailwind actually.
Oh, okay.
I think it's one of the only um, one of the only Tailwind users in C tier,
Yeah.
which makes it really good.
Yeah, for sure.
The rest of the C tiers, though, they feel pretty weak. What do you think?
I would agree. I don't think that Milcery and Wooper really bring much to the table.
Yeah,
Um, Yamper, I think Yamper would be so much better if it was just a little bit faster.
yeah, it's
If it
so
was a
slow.
little bit faster and it could use Electroweb and Volt Switch or things like that, then it'd be better, but it's so slow, and I think that really hinders it.
Yeah, I think that's the weakness of this draft. They have a really good top, um, and I think they'll bring those 4 months to every match, pretty
Yep,
much.
100%.
Yeah, and but they will be quite predictable, and you know exactly what to plan for.
Yep,
You'll have to plan for the hail combo and the free leap combo, and
yep,
that's it pretty much.
yes.
Maybe some more things, but this is the obvious stuff.
Yeah. But I
Uh,
think what's hard is that it's hard to have a solid answer to both of those things.
Absolutely, especially in this draft format.
Yeah.
I definitely think Wendell has a really good team though, even though his lower end is a little bit weaker.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the price you have to pay for having a top-heavy draft like that. I mean, we saw
Yeah,
that in mine too. So,
absolutely.
um, yeah, but really scary team.
Yeah. Well done. Should we go on to the next team?
Yeah.
D5. Oh, this player's really dangerous.
Oh, yeah,
Smeg.
this draft terrified me.
This is quite scary, I think.
Yeah.
Look at this one. It's so scary.
This
Uh,
one like lives in my head. Like every time I'm prepping for my week 1 match, which is not against Smeg, but like the
who is it?
future match against Smeg is hanging in the back of my mind. Like, how am I gonna deal with this?
Yeah. Who are you against week one?
Uh, Pebbles and Dwebbles.
Oh, that team will appear in. It's 2 teams away. So
Okay,
we'll look at that soon. Um, but I think they really got some value out of their C tiers. What do you think? Smoochum is
for
amazing.
sure. I mean, off the bat, the Drifloon Duskull combo is really
That's scary.
scary. Like
Yeah,
Shadow Sneak Weakness Policy Drifloon can just like like even in regular DPEC in a not draft format, that just what can wipe teams.
yeah, it's
Um,
super
and
scary.
then and then he backs that up with the Moralol pick,
Mm,
which is it's kind of like Amoonguss in regular VGC.
yeah,
It has Spore and is really slow, which pairs really well with Duskull, the Trick Room that Duskulls can set. And then he
absolutely.
has Larvesta as a really strong physical fire type, physical sweeper. So really,
Yeah,
really strong top. And then the C tier picks that he picks up to back it up are really strong too. Roggenrola, Smoochum, and Gullet are all are viable, all
yeah,
have good utility that they can bring. Um, and same with Poplio too. Like that's a solid water type.
yeah. I think this draft is really cool. Um, and I like their Firewater Grass core.
Yeah,
Uh, even if it's not the top, I think it's really solid.
it is for sure.
I like this team, and the player is really dangerous as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So everyone, you'll have to watch out for this team.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, it's kind of like this looming thing in the back of my mind whenever
Yeah,
I'm prepping.
this and the next team are really scary, I think. Do you want to go to the next team?
Sure. Yeah, we can move on.
Also, I think actually we rated this team too low.
Yeah, I'm curious to know um why only 7 for the draft order.
Yeah, I actually think this draft order is pretty good.
Yeah.
That should probably been higher. I agree. Uh, I think this was one of the later teams I looked at. Uh, but yeah, this team could probably gotten a better score because it's super terrifying.
I would agree with that for sure.
Yeah. Let's look at the next one, which is the Sparta Reshirems with the coach Lass.
Another one that looms over me.
Yeah, you talked about
Very scary.
this one during the pre-draft stream, right?
Hmm. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, just Lass, but his draft is this is scary. The Togepi pick turn 1 is always really good, and he got Squawit with Belly Drum and
Wow.
Squirtle with Shell Smash to back that up. Um, he decided to go for a really B-heavy draft with only 2 C tiers, which I think was a really good decision. Um, yeah, and he also got that Tyrant, which we talked about earlier.
Hmm.
So, what do you think about this team?
This team, obviously, you guys scored it really high. I think this is one of the higher scores that we've seen.
It is.
Um, and I think it's definitely well deserved.
Mm,
I really like the structure of going for a lot of B tiers and only a couple of C tiers.
yeah,
Um, and it worked out well for him because the B tiers that he got, I think, are perfect for him. If I
yeah,
remember right, when I played against him in a couple of the tournaments, he actually used Squova and Tyrant in tournaments. So I think he's
he
super
actually did.
familiar with those mons.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, very, very scary. There's a lot of utility here, a lot of good type coverage. The only thing I think is a little bit weak about this draft is just the C tiers.
Yeah,
And because
absolutely.
Barboach and Beldum, to my knowledge, don't offer much.
No.
But the rest of the team is so strong that it almost, it really doesn't bring down his draft that much.
Yeah. One other weakness of the draft is, I think, the missing Trick Room setter.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Other than that, I think the team is looking really good.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah.
Uh,
This isn't, yeah, another really strong one.
yeah. Should we go on to your week 1 opponent?
Sure.
I love this logo, by the way. There we
Oh
go.
yeah,
Pebbles
this
and
one always makes me
Dwebbles.
laugh.
Mr. Monster. So I really liked his draft order.
Hmm.
Um, he picked up some really good supporting mons like Fletchling Fungus, and then a really good sweeper in Magnemite, and then all of them UC C tiers, except for the Magikarp, which was his last pick. Uh, um,
Yeah.
what do you think about this draft?
So the Fletchling is a really good pick, and I think Magnemite is probably, I think, the strongest offensive mon
Yeah,
that he's got. When I'm doing my prep, that's one of the ones. That's one of the mons that I'm prepping the most against.
yeah,
Um, the thing that I think is weak about this draft is that there's a lot of water types.
yeah,
So going into this, when I'm reviewing this team, I'm like, oh, Grookey, if I can deal with that Fletchling, then my Grookey kind of just goes crazy here.
yeah,
So I think that, but there's only one Grookey in the league to have to deal with. So
absolutely.
I think I have a favorable matchup into this team.
Mm,
But other than that, I think that it's a really strong draft.
absolutely. This team absolutely has problems with Grookey, but as you said, it's only one of the 12 teams you
Right.
will have to face.
Right.
Um,
And he does have tools. Obviously the Fletchling is a really good Grookey counter,
yeah,
and Magnemite can deal with Grookey really well. But as long as
yeah,
I can, focus on those two things, get those off the board, and then bring in Grookey, I'm pretty confident.
yeah. I agree. Um, yeah. And he also got the early Stuffle, which is really nice, I think.
Yeah, it's a really good C tier pick for sure.
Yeah. Um, and wait, does fighting resist fighting?
No, it does not.
That means he could go weakness policy Stuffle.
Yeah, he could like Mach Punch Tyrogue into weak, but I didn't think of that. So
Yeah. I should probably
thank
not
you. I'll
reveal.
consider that in my prep.
Oh no, I should not reveal more then.
No, it's okay. I've already actually finished my team in game for this one, so
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty
Okay.
locked in with what I'm gonna bring.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So he tried to make a small raid mode actually, with Poliwag and Omanite. Poliwag serving as some kind of rain setter, and Omanite as the sweeper.
Mhm.
I talked to Mr. Monster quite a bit during his draft process as well. But I still like this draft. He was sniped of super many picks at the end, which
Oh, really?
was why he just went, nah, I'll pick Magikarp at the end, which I respect.
Yeah, for sure. Watch him win the whole thing and bring Magikarp in in every game.
Yeah, I want to see that. Yeah, but I think so. As you see, actually rated his synergy pretty low. What do you think about that? And Jay did
Um,
as well.
I would agree with that just because of how many water types there are.
Yeah,
Um, and not a lot of obvious pairings of Pokemon.
yeah.
Um, so I think I would agree with that.
But I still think um, his on second thought, um, I think he has some hidden combos, which you'll not see when you're looking at it at first glance. But he has some really good setup combos,
Yeah. Yeah,
which I'll
I
not tell you.
that's fine. I'm sure
Yeah,
I'll see him sometime this week.
yeah. Good idea. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. So this team is really interesting, actually. Um, this is another one of the late S tier picks. What do you think about this one?
Yeah. It's very interesting. I when this happened, I was very um surprised that Fomantis got picked so early. Like
Yeah,
Fomantis and Staryu as a round 1 and round 2 picks were
I were,
very
I were,
surprising to me.
I was so surprised because
Yeah.
he DM'd me about where to pick and such, and he said he wanted Staryu. I was like, what? uh, but I think it worked out pretty good actually. What do you think?
Yeah, I really like all of his C tier picks.
Yeah, same. They're looking
Fomantis,
really good.
Esper, yeah, Zigzagoon, and Shelder. I think they're all really solid. Like he has strong picks across the board. Just the order was kind of strange.
I actually think the order kind of worked though. Still, but I agree the order was weird. Uh, but I
Yeah,
don't think he has a single pick which isn't value,
agreed. Totally agreed.
which I think is really uncommon.
Yeah. I saw that you guys actually it looks like just NJ rated him a little bit lower on the synergy side
Yeah,
of things. And I think I would agree with that just because I
very
don't
true.
see a bunch of obvious pairings, but he does have like all the types covered. Right? He has really good type coverage across the
Yeah,
board, just not a lot of obvious pairings
absolutely. But he got a lot of
combos.
versatility in some of his mons, so
Yeah.
I think it'll work out.
Yeah, they can definitely make it work for sure.
Yeah, and they got a beautiful no decimal score as well, which makes me
Oh,
happy.
right.
Um, that's really nice. And they got their Darmaka,
Yeah.
which is
Surprised that they
always,
were able to pick that up so late. That's such a
yeah,
good Pokemon.
the it's a really good pick,
Yeah,
and it was so safe after a while as well.
true. Once everyone grabs one S tier, then you can kind of sit back
Yeah,
and relax because they're not going to grab another one.
I think he could have grabbed it last round actually.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but this worked really good, and I think all of his picks are super valuable.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, let's move on. Oh yeah, this team. The Ozark Torteras with Ultra as their coach.
Hmm.
So they got Squirrel and Slowpoke combo as well.
They did.
Yeah. although not the Cantonian variant, the Galarian variant.
Which is arguably better if you don't already have the only Grookey, because
Yeah,
it doesn't have that grass weakness.
exactly. So I think this team looks really good. They also went for the super many B budget,
Mm-hmm.
and they went like 4 Bs in the beginning. I respect that.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's it's a creative it's a very creative way to draft. Grabbing Snover and Krabby and Torchic in the first couple of rounds are not something
yeah,
that I was, is not something I expected, but then it allowed them to get really strong picks later, just with kind of what was left.
yeah, I
They
agree.
were it was very safe.
He kind of just because I made a majority of his picks. So the first morning of the draft, he left Snover and Krabby, and I was like, okay, what is this going to turn out to be?
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a really good draft, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
He's got a lot of good synergy with like Snover and Cubchoo
yeah,
and the Slowpoke and the Skrelp and I'm trying to find if he's got something that pairs well with that Sandy Gas, like maybe the Kabuto or something with Aqua Jet that goes
yeah,
into the Sandy Gas.
maybe. Oh, that's a good question. I have no idea actually. But kinda, I guess Slowpoke and Sandygast? Like
Yeah, that could work.
Surf? Trick Room and then Surf?
Yeah,
For the
that
weakness
works.
policy?
Kabuto also, I just double checked, does get Aqua Jet, so you could go Aqua Jet and proc the weakness policy and the what's his ability, water compaction or
Yeah.
whatever that is.
So this I think this draft is really good.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah,
And it's a
I
really
think it's
weird
solid.
draft order or as well, which I really enjoy.
Yeah,
um, yeah. I enjoyed this then. Should we move on?
yeah.
Mm. Oh, here we have the next double S tier. Puppy Content of the All Hallows Eve.
Mm.
So what do
Oh,
you
here's
think?
that Cottony Growlithe combo we were talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly. What
Very good.
I love this top. It's amazing.
That's a really good Firewater Grass core that he has on
Yeah,
his first
it's
three picks.
amazing.
That
It's
Mantike is a really good kind of round. It kind of rounds off that Firewater Grass core really, really well.
the thing about this Firewater Grass core is that all of them are have so many good supportive options,
Hmm.
but they can also go on the offensive.
For sure.
I really like and the Krogunk as well. I really like this top. Uh,
Croagunk is cool for sure. This is the first time we've seen Croagunk, right?
yeah, I think so.
It gets a lot of priority moves.
Yeah, it does.
Fake out, vacuum wave, uh,
Ma-
maybe Mach Punch.
I don't know. Bullet punch, I think.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So you can do a lot with that, I think. And yeah. Um but what do you think about his C tiers?
Um, I think some are good and some are a little bit less valuable.
Yeah.
And
I
and
like
and that's kind of just
LGM and Meowth.
yeah. No, I think those are good picks. Um, but that's kind of just the way that the it kind of falls when you have a bunch of C tiers is that you end up just having
Yeah.
to get things that are a little bit less valuable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, I do think that maybe the Snorunt could maybe get paired with the Gumi to get that weakness policy going.
Yeah.
Um, Horsey, I'm not sure what value Horsey provides.
Yeah. It doesn't even have a hurricane, so it cannot be used as a airstreamer.
Yeah. And then Igglybuff is just pretty much friend guard.
Yeah.
So I think that I think that whoever is going up against Poppy Kanton can pretty much bank on the fact that he's going to be bringing those 4 high tier picks every single game.
Absolutely. It's like a must.
Yeah.
I can see some interesting things like Ice Shard Snorunt into a weakness policy Cottony.
Oh, that would be interesting for sure.
Yeah, he has some nice combos, and Algium is a really good one.
Yeah,
Uh,
Ellium is surprisingly good. Can set
yeah,
Trick Room and also has that ability analytics, so it can hit super hard outside of Trick Room too.
yeah, I agree. Um, this is a really good team. I think some of the C tiers could be traded the other way though.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
I still like this team. Should we move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Team 11. Oh, I love this team.
This one was when I was going through the teams, think that this one might be the strongest one in this division.
Yeah, I think the points did not make this team justice.
Yeah,
Um,
this one is very strong.
I love the turn 1 coughing.
Yeah.
I love it. This team is really interesting, I think.
Yeah,
The,
coughing is. I think we've talked about coughing before. Is really good at just disrupting things. And then
yeah,
Magby was the first time someone sniped me. I really wanted Magby.
yeah,
Magby is such a good Dynamax offensive threat.
it is.
It's really fast and hits really hard.
Yep,
Um, and then he's got Nadu, which is a good Trick Room and Tailwind. You know, it kind of can do both things. It's a good support mon.
yeah,
Um, and then he's got Shellos, which is another one of my personal favorites, just because of the Storm Drain. It's
yep,
bulky and it gets that Storm Drain, so it can cover for Magby's weaknesses really well.
absolutely.
Um, and then he also has the Zorua, which is interesting. I think this is the first time we've seen Zorua too, right?
It is.
There's a lot of
Soroa
mind
is
games
really
you can do with
interesting.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And they have the cutie fly.
yeah.
Uh, I think it will be like comboed with Phantom and Gibble.
Hmm.
But other than that, like they have so many fast mons, like a lot. Magby, Natu, Sorua, Cutiefly, and Meowth.
Yeah.
They're super fast. But they also have some really slow mons.
Yeah, I mean the slowest is going to be the Gibble and the Phantom, right? Oh,
Yeah,
I guess the
Shellos.
Shellos is slow too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And technically Yangmao too, but
Oh,
still.
yeah. Yeah,
But
Jangmo is kind of in that weird speed tier where it could be
yeah,
fast under Tailwind or maybe not slow enough for Trick Room.
yeah, uh, exactly. I agree.
Do you see any weaknesses with this draft at all?
Not really. I think they covered them really well.
Yeah, same. Honestly, I was looking at this and I was like, I honestly don't know how I can really prep to beat this team consistently. I think it's really going to come down to having to play well
Uh,
versus out prepping, because I don't know how
yeah,
you out prep this team.
it's not possible. They can bring exactly what they want. All of their
Yeah,
10 mons are super good, and they can pick exactly the mon they want for the situation.
yeah, exactly.
They want the S-less route as well, which I think is one of the better options.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, uh, that's pretty much. It's. I think this team will be really good, and loaf of bread. You should be really proud of this draft.
for sure. Yeah, definitely one of the strongest in this division,
Yep. Even
if not
though,
the strongest.
yeah, although the score doesn't make it justice, not at all. The team doesn't really have that many like obvious combos, but I think its versatility makes up for it.
Yeah, for sure. I think if I were rating this team, I would have given the versatility a 10.
Yeah. Now when I'm looking at it again, I agree. Honestly, I agree. Um,
Yeah,
this would have been I picked one 10 in order and one 10 in synergy. This would have been my 10 in versatility, I think.
yeah, for sure.
Let's go on.
Okay.
Mm. Blazing Shadows with the Kosha Nagnaman. What do you think about this team?
I mean, right off the bat, they've got Drillbur and Hippopotas.
Yeah, which is
So
a really
that's
threatening combo.
really strong. And then backing that up with Ferroseed is also really strong.
Yeah,
Um, the Helioptile is interesting. I think Helioptile works best in Sun,
yeah.
and they don't have that as an option that I can see. Maybe I'm missing it, but I don't think they have that as an
Nope.
option. So that's an interesting pick.
I looked through
Um,
their whole team. There's no exterior Sunny Day user,
mm,
which is fast as well.
right. So, the Helioptile and the Charmander, I think both kind of fall into that slot where they want to be in Sun.
Yeah,
Um, but I think he's got some good value C tier picks as well. Like
absolutely.
we've talked about, Dreepy is a good support option.
Mm.
Muna is a good trick room setter. Um, Happini has the friend guard.
Mm.
So, I think there's definitely some strength, a lot of offensive power to this team for sure.
Yeah, I agree. This team is looking pretty good, and yeah. What do you, if you face this team, what would you prepare for?
Uh, I definitely would bring, and I think my Intimidator may not be the best for it since it's an electric type, but I think bringing
Yeah,
an Intimidator is really good here, because Drillbur, Hippopotas, Ferroseed, I guess Charmander, like a lot of his offensive threats are physical, and so being able to mitigate that damage, I think will be really strong.
yeah,
I also see a bit of a water weakness here.
yeah. That's very true.
Outside, I mean, he can cover for it with the Ferroseed and offensively with the
And
Helioptile,
yeah,
but I think water goes so well into Dribbler and Hippopotas, and he doesn't have a grass, or I guess he has the Ferroseed, but he doesn't have a more offensive grass type to help cover for that. So
yeah.
I think that
Your
I would bring an offensive water type and Intimidator into this team for
yeah,
sure.
your Clauncher would be really
Well,
nice.
yes, yes.
Clauncher and some speed control.
What were your thoughts in the scores that you gave for this team?
So I think they went. I like this draft. But I think their options of speed control maybe was a little bit weak. I don't know. I felt like they had sand and they had Moon of a Trick Room.
Mhm.
What else do they have? I guess Thunderwave
Yeah.
from
And
Dreepy.
and uh, and Carvana can use speed boost, so it kinda has just
Yeah,
speed control for itself.
yeah. I think yeah, that's fair. Um, I think the order is decent. It's almost top down.
Mhm.
Uh, and the synergy is a bit about bit about of average, I think.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Should we go on to the last team in Docile?
Let's do it.
So I actually discussed a lot with this coach as well. I had very many friends uh, in this division actually, uh, which was super
Yeah.
fun. Uh,
What do you
yeah.
know the reasoning behind Bonsley as the first pick? Because
Oh,
that took me by surprise.
yeah. We discussed it a lot, and on second thought, we think he should have picked us a bit later. Um, but he got the turnaround picks, right?
Yeah.
So we discussed, do you want to grab a strong combo to begin with? And the Diglett and Bouncefly is really nice, as Diglett can do the beat up into Rattled Bouncefly.
Oh, yeah.
It's Bouncefly Bouncefly is like the Colossal of the deep pick format, I think.
Interesting.
Is at the base really slow,
Mhm.
but with some enabling, it can go really fast.
Yeah. That's an
Uh,
interesting pairing. I had never thought about that beat up into Rattled Bonsly before. I think that's really cool.
yeah, and that is actually why we decided to put it in S tier. It can be put on so many spectrums of speed control.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
that's true.
yeah. Um, then they went for the Rowlet and Joltik, two really good B tier specs, I think.
Yeah.
After that, we have the two C tiers, two of the absolute best C tiers, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, Kufant is really strong.
Mm,
Good steel type. It gets sheer force, so it can hit really hard.
yeah.
Baltoy also is good. It's really bulky, and has good support and utility.
Yep.
Um, but then it looks like he comes back after grabbing some really good C tiers, which I think is really smart. He comes back and grabs Sizzlipede and Yamask. What was the reason behind that? Do you know?
Um, so the Sislipede was pretty much he wanted a fire type.
Uh huh.
He originally wanted Larvesta,
Yeah,
but that
that
then
got taken.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he went for Sislipede, and Yamask was just a really good um, Trick Room setter. After
Okay.
that, he didn't really know what C tiers pick, so Psyduck to counter Weather and Whismer, which also has Rattled, so it can pair with Bonesly and just go for some spread moves, was some like last minute decisions.
Interesting. I didn't know that Wismer got rattled. That's cool.
Yeah, I think that was a really good niche for picking it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks like you gave this team a really high score for versatility, and Captain Aro gave it a little bit of a lower score
yeah,
for versatility. I wish he was here to comment on that, but I wonder
yeah.
what he saw in here as lacking.
Yeah, I don't really know. I think his like type diversity is really good.
Hmm.
Uh, and he got a lot of different means of speed control as well.
Hmm.
So I don't see what's low in versatility here.
You know, the only thing that I can really point out, I think he's a little bit lacking in special attackers.
Oh,
Bonsly's
that's true.
physical, Diglett's physical, Rowlet, excuse me, is physical. Joltik, special but not very powerful.
Mm,
Cufon is physical. Baltoy, I don't think is very like, I think he's a little bit lacking in special attacking power.
that's
So
very
maybe,
true, honestly.
maybe Intimidators can kind of bring his offensive power down a little bit.
Yeah, that's
Um,
very true. I think the only teams with an intimidator are is you and Papi Canton.
really.
Yeah. Litten and Sandal and
Didn't get drafted in this one. Wow.
yeah,
So I mean that's good then.
yeah.
That he only has to really worry about that
And
in
Scraggy, yes,
two matchups.
yes. Litten, Scraggy, and Sandal wasn't picked in this division.
Wow, no one picked Scraggy. That's crazy.
Yep, it was only picked in Quirky division actually.
That's crazy.
Yep, it's crazy. I should. It's a really good one. Yeah. We're done with Docile then. Do you want to hear what player in Docile was placed the highest?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Um, it was Lass with the Sparta Reshrooms.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense,
Yeah,
honestly. That's a really scary team. I think the only team that actually there's a handful of teams here that I think are also in the running. I think that Worshipper of Long's team,
yeah,
that team's in the running, and then I also think Smeg's team is also in the running for
yeah,
scariest team. But those
yeah,
three for sure are very scary.
absolutely. So, should we head on to Series Division? It seems
Did you want to wait for?
it seems like Captain Oro will be delayed. So I think we should just go on.
Okay, that works for me.
He got some delays at work, but maybe he'll pop up before we
Before we
make
finish.
his look at his pick.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'm just gonna um, adjust the layout. gotta scroll. Alright, wrong window. There we go. So, are you ready for Series Division?
I'm ready.
Okay, so the Pittsburgh Red Steelers with Byron as their coach. So, as you see, I rated them pretty low in order,
Mm-hmm.
like the lowest score, and I ever gave someone, I think, and their versatility is also pretty low, as you see.
Mm-hmm.
While they picked Grookey turn 1, which is super nice, of course, they kinda dropped off later, I think, because they went ahead and picked 2 very slow special Trick Room setters. I don't think I liked that decision, actually. What do you think?
What didn't you like about it? What do you think is, or what do you think they could have done better? Because I don't see a problem if you really want a trick room based draft. I don't see a
Yeah,
problem with grabbing those mons early.
yeah,
Um,
I know, but um, I think spending both of your A tiers on like the same role is a bit weak.
okay,
But
I
what
could
do
see
you
that.
think?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, Solosis and Litwick are really strong mons.
Yeah, they are.
Um, the only thing about them is I think they're a little bit frail.
Yeah. Litwick
So,
is actually quite bulky.
oh, is it?
Yeah. I used it in the first Deepak tour, and I came in 6th.
Oh, okay.
It was one of my key tools, actually. I really liked it. It's surprisingly bulky.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you kind of get that. What I think he maybe could have gotten a bit more of a powerful Firewater Grass Core.
yeah,
Picking Carvana so early in the draft is a little bit surprising to me because it doesn't seem. I should say it seems like it at that stage in the draft you could have gotten a more powerful water type.
yeah, I agree. That was
But
kind of
then he
weird.
follows that up with Hail with the Hail combo of Abora and Cubchoo, and I think that's solid.
Yeah, I agree. That was uh it was really nice picking up. That Cub shoe I actually think was a revenge pick. Um,
Oh,
on the next coach, Esther, who picked Stuffle right before they
oh,
meant to pick it. And
oh,
Esther had the low level picks.
that makes
And
sense.
then they
So
saw,
just a snipe. Oh,
yeah,
that's funny.
and but then they saw that Esther went for something else, and yeah, they I think picking up Amora there was a good decision. Um, Esther later went ahead and picked up a lowland Sandshrew. So,
Okay.
but we'll get on to that later.
Mm-hmm.
Matchup could do some fun weakness policy stuff, I guess. Um, and he also has the Rhyhorn later in the draft for his Trick Room.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think one of the biggest weaknesses I see here is
mm,
that if he doesn't get the trick room up, um, I think his team can struggle speed wise.
yeah, exactly. His only options of speed controls are like the Trick Room and the Hail,
Right.
which I think is the weakness of this. Otherwise, I like it.
Yep, I agree with that.
Hmm? Should we go on?
Yeah.
So let's talk about Esther with Spill with it.
I like that team.
Yeah, it's a wonderful name. So the only coach who picked Letton actually.
That's very surprising.
Yeah, I agree.
Based on just off of usage, it was like top 3 in usage for every tournament almost.
Yeah, until like one of the last tours when Scraggy. Um,
Draggy took over, yeah.
yeah, I really like this draft actually.
What do you like about this one?
It has so many like small combos, and I think its versatility is really good as well. They got the early Stuffle, which is always a really good pick. They have Phantom for their Trick Room Setter. They can go some weakness policy stuff with Dratini. Poliwag is a really good water type, I think. It can go for Belly Drum if you wanted to be offensive. Yeah, Milcery, I don't know really what that does, but the rest of the Pokemon I think I really like. They also picked their mascot,
Yeah.
which I respect.
Yeah. I think, I think everything on their team, maybe except for that Milcery, provides good value.
Yeah, I
And I
agree.
think that speaks to the fact that their draft order was really good.
Yeah, which is why I put it at a 9.
Hmm.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that is pretty much all I have to say about this team. I really like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot of good things here for sure.
I find it interesting that all the teams that got a hail combo also got Dratini.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
It
uh,
makes sense because
yeah,
of the weakness policy that you can do with it.
absolutely. I like the combo. Um,
Very cool.
yeah. Next team then. Uh, this is the creator of our Showdown server, Casual Boy, with the
Oh right.
Celadon Stuffle. Um, what do you think about this draft?
I Togepi as a first pick I think is really strong.
Hmm?
Um, Chinchou as a second pick is a little bit surprising to me though.
Yeah, I agree, honestly. Um, Xinqiao is a really good offensive mon, but yeah, it's a pretty weird second round pick.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then they moved on to Ferroseed, which I think is a good pick. It's
yeah,
definitely one of the better steel types in the format.
yep,
Um, what I don't see though, I don't see how they're really supporting the Ferroseed though.
yeah,
I think Ferroseed would really like to be behind screens
mm,
um, to help out with its bulk. It kind of sets up an end game similar to what Ferrothorn does in regular VGC, and I
yep,
think that screens and damage mitigation really help that.
yeah.
But there's not a whole lot of options, at least that I can see here, just looking at it,
I guess
of damage mitigation. Does
Muna
Muna get
has,
screens?
yeah, it does,
Okay, yeah, that's solid then.
and I think Togepi got get some out as well.
Okay,
But yeah, I think Muna will probably be the main screener.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
I like Larvesta
yeah, me too.
as an A tier pick, really good offensively.
Yeah, I love that one.
Um,
It
Nidoran.
has string shot as well, by the way, for speed
Oh,
control.
Larvesta does?
Yeah, it's really
Oh,
nice.
interesting.
But yeah,
Nidoran's an interesting pick for sure. I think this was the only person who picked up Nidoran, right?
yep, Nidoran is really cool. It's a hustle user.
Oh, is it?
Yep,
Oh, nice.
which is really good.
Yeah. No, and this thing gets really good type coverage too. It has
Yeah,
uh it's got poison coverage, ground coverage, ice, electric. It's got really good coverage across the board.
yeah, it's really nice. I love the last pick Snom. It's
I'll be
good.
interested to see if he actually brings it.
Yeah, same.
I'd love to see it.
Yep, same. Um, should we move on?
Yeah.
Uh, now we have the two organizers right after each other.
Oh, nice.
So let's begin with NJ with the soul-taking floaters. So he began with his classical combo of Drifloon and Shadow Sneak Rowlet.
Yeah. I know he liked that combo a lot
Yeah,
in regular DPEC.
he
I
loved
remember
it.
playing him. So scary for him to get the combo that one of the combos that he's most familiar with.
Yep, I agree. What
I
do you
also
think
think
about the rest?
Baneri is a really interesting pick.
Hmm.
I actually really like it. I think it synergizes really well with Rowlet and Drifloon because it's a fake out user that's immune to the ghost types that both Rowlet and Drifloon. Is Rowlet a ghost type or is it just grass?
Just grass and flying.
Oh, okay. I guess it's immune to the ghost type that Drifloon is weak to,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Hmm.
And then Mime Junior, I think, is just a solid offensive mon. Inkay has a lot of really good tech that goes into it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think we talked about this a lot with your draft.
Yeah.
That there's a lot you can do to really set Inkay up to be to be a powerhouse.
Yep.
Um, and then looking at his C tier picks, I like all of his C tier picks.
Mm.
Zubat and Nickit I think are good. Utility mons. Wooloo, I'm not sure what it does. Um,
Me neither.
I'm not sure what utility Wooloo provides, but maybe it's just something that we're not seeing.
Yeah. So the only weakness, one of the weaknesses I see with this draft is the enormous weakness to ice. Or no, not the enormous weakness to ice, but uh, it doesn't like ice types.
Yeah,
Like at
yeah,
all.
no, I see that. The only ice resist that he has here would be the Squirtle and the Shelder.
Yeah, but none of them really handle ice types.
Yeah.
And the thing is one weak one opponent is Esther, which has the hill combo.
Oh, that'll be interesting to see how
Yeah,
he deals with that.
yeah. That will surely be really interesting. I
Yeah.
have no idea how I would do it.
I think the other thing is that this team may struggle a little bit with opposing Trick Room.
Yeah,
Like, there's not a great way here that I can see to stop Trick Room, and then some of his mons here are weak to really strong Trick Room sweepers. Like I think Bonsley would be really hard for this team to deal with.
yeah, absolutely. I absolutely think that this team has some weaknesses in um blah, 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 trick room and ice, pretty much.
Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think I like this draft.
Yeah,
Yeah. Should we go on?
let's do it. I guess we're not going to
I don't think so.
hear from. Okay.
Doesn't seem like it, sadly, because Captain Noro absolutely loved this draft,
Yeah. Wow, his
and
score is really high.
yeah, he's actually the highest scored.
Oh wow.
I love this draft. Just look at it. He
Tell me what
has
you like about it.
so there is many like small built-in combos. Um, like Riolo helps a lot of these mons actually. It pairs up really nice with Magby using coaching. Swirlix with Bullet Punch, Omenite with Rain Dance, um, and like some of the other mons are really nice. Like Dwebble can really pull out some work with Shell Smash. Um, he got some nice trick room setters with Esper and Natu. Natu being one of my favorite um B type B tier air streamers, and Axio, which is really good, I think.
Hmm.
Fomantis is a quite nice grass type. Um, Cufant, the early Cufant, I love it. Which makes for awesome trick room sweeper. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot going on in this team.
Yeah. The more that I look at this team, the more like threats that I see.
Yeah,
And a bunch of different directions that he could take like he can team build in any direction it feels like. He can go fast, he can go slow, he can use weather, he can almost do whatever he wants with this draft.
yeah, and that is why I I rated it so high. I love
Yeah.
this draft.
I
It's
wonder why he gave himself only a 6 in versatility.
yeah, I don't see why.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I think it's what he was very humble of himself.
I would
Uh,
have given this team a 10 in versatility. It seems like it can do anything.
yeah, I agree. This I really see why this team managed to get to the top of the chart.
Yeah.
It can do a lot. and I think all players in Series Division are going to need to watch out for this.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not in my division.
Yeah, he also got to buy round round one.
Oh, really?
So he got a free win already.
Nice.
Really nice. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Um, okay. Oh, I love it. I like this team.
Oh,
Uh,
I do like this team a lot as well.
the draft order is really interesting,
Yeah.
and they actually went for the same budget as me.
Oh, really? The
Yep,
same, no S tier?
yep. So I really like their start with coughing for the disruption, and then they went for the Perish Trap combo.
Yeah, that's really strong.
And then they have the Tyrant, which we talked about earlier. They have the Krogunk, Woobat is really nice. Silicobra, Snorunt for the Ice Shard into Woobat, Pumpkaboo for the really versatile Grass type.
Hmm.
I see a lot in this team.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think there's a lot of potential here.
oh wait, this team is actually tied with Captain Tour.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. I can see why though.
Yeah.
I really like this team. Um, I think all of his mons are really value.
Yeah, there's not a single mon here that is a waste.
Yeah, he picked it really carefully, I think.
Yeah, I watched he put up a YouTube video actually on his picks.
Oh, he did.
Um, and
I'm going to have to draft that. Look
and
at that.
I was really impressed. It seemed like he put a lot of time and effort and thought into his picks, and I think it turned out really well.
Yeah, I love this draft. Also, oh no, I was about to start talking Swedish there. Uh, uh, I think Series Division is going to have to watch out for both Alflamingo and Cipitoro.
Yeah, for sure.
Both of them are looking so vicious.
Yeah.
There are a lot of good teams in Series Division actually.
There,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Almost every team we've looked at so far has had more than a couple of like really scary things.
yeah. Should we move on?
Sure.
Mm, here we have the next team called Cute Gang. Um, so what do you think about this one?
Um, Interesting. Double S tier
Yeah,
pick right out the gate. But I think it worked out well on his top half because Scorbunny and Poniard is such a good combination.
yeah,
It mimics the Blaziken Bisharp combo that we've seen before in regular VGC in the past.
Oh,
And then
interesting.
yeah,
Hmm?
and actually I think Cinderace and Bisharp was another combo that we saw in Series 9 or Series 11 of
Yeah,
VGC that was really strong. Um,
I
but
remember
then,
it's in Series 5 as well.
oh, was it Series 5? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And then he follows that up with the Fletchling, which is really good speed control.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bunnelby is another, solid offensive physical Pokemon.
Yeah.
The only thing that I see there that's a little bit sketchy is that all of those Pokemon are weak to Intimidate, but he has that Ponyard to kind of cover it a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. Very hard to bring an Intimidator into a Ponyard matchup.
Yep.
What do you think about his C tier picks, though?
I like Elgium. It's really good. Smoochum also really good. Scoryupie can be really interesting. Gossifleur as the only grass type and the only option for dealing with water type. I don't know. Maybe he wants something better for that.
Yeah.
And Psyduck is always interesting.
Yeah.
I and him discussed the Bunnelby pick actually. He wanted to switch it away for something else.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did. He thought the Bunnelby pick was kind of rushed, and
Oh, okay.
he wants to switch it to something else. So we'll
I
see
Yeah.
what he does.
I think I think you hit the nail on the head with the water types. I think that this team is really going to struggle with a strong water type.
Yeah.
Because Scorbunny can't touch it, Poniard can't touch it, Fletchling can't, like nothing on his team can really touch a strong water type.
Yep.
So maybe he should look into in that Bunnelby slot picking up a really good electric type or picking up a better grass type,
Yeah.
something like that
Yeah,
to
I
help
agree.
patch that weakness.
I agree. But yeah, a big grass weakness, water weakness.
Hmm.
That's the thing about this team. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep. Same.
Yeah. Let's go on.
All right.
I think next is the Elix Mysteries. Yes, the Elix Mysteries. So he began this draft with Fungus and Duskull, a like really good Trick Room setter lead.
Yeah, that's a really strong lead just because you can click Rage Powder Trick Room and then the next turn you start clicking Spore.
Yeah.
Um, and that can be really hard to deal with if you're not prepared for it. I also really like him grabbing Abra and Dino.
Mm,
Um, Abra is a really strong special sweeper and Dino is going to be a really strong physical sweeper.
yeah. And Salandit is also really nice. Um,
Yeah, it's good fake out,
yeah,
fast fake out.
and has quite vicious special attack and speed.
Yeah.
I think,
I'm surprised that Barboach got picked so early in his draft though.
yeah,
I'm not sure what Barboach does.
the only thing I don't really like about this draft is that he got the super nice like Trick Room setup, but the only like super strong Trick Room sweeper is Dino,
Yeah.
and it's not even that slow.
Oh yeah, base 38 speed.
Yeah, he got Roggenrola, but it's pretty frail on the special side.
Yeah.
And I don't see the synergy, honestly, on this team.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think, yeah, I think I agree with you that it may be a little bit lacking on the synergy. I think he has yeah, he doesn't have a great fire water grass core. I think that Marini is not the best water type.
Yeah.
So fire water grass core is a little bit weak, and then also
Mhm.
I don't think he doesn't have a fairy type, right? So there's no
Nope.
fantasy core here.
Nope.
Um, so his type coverage might be a little bit lacking.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, he's got some solid offensive threats. So I think that he's got a lot to work with here, but maybe needs to make a trade or two
Hmm.
to kind of round things out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um, this team got some weaknesses, but I think it can do well still.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So Cipitoro just messaged me that he'll join soon.
Okay.
Like in 1 minute or something.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Do we want to wait for him to do the net to start the next team?
yeah, we can do that. I will pause the recording.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Come on. Oh, there we go. So, the next team is Manfield Mantix with the coach Ace Crest, who actually picked up Mantike for his round one. Now with Auro here, what do you think about this team?
Yeah, I really like this team. When I was looking over it to give it scores, I just thought it had a solid kind of about it.
Hmm?
So I'm just popping the team up in front of me so I know what it is
Yeah,
fully, so I can go over it. But yeah, obviously H Christ has loved Mantike since the start of the DPEC.
yeah,
And obviously the combination of Growlithe, Sandile, Slowpoke, Glar, I think are really good. I think, obviously in draft, there's some mons that haven't really been seen in tournaments previously because usually what happens is people go with popular picks or the mons that just exceed ahead of other ones. But I think the picks that he's got in to replace certain ones there, like I think Meowth Galar is actually potentially going to be something that does really well.
yeah,
Um, and Execute has been in tournaments previously as well, and I think that's got quite a good addition to it alongside a couple of the ones there. So yeah, I thought it was quite a good pick from H Christ. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually agree. I think this draft is pretty cool. The only thing I'm not really seeing is synergy. What do you think about this SharkDad?
I think he might be a little bit lacking type coverage wise on the
Yeah.
synergy a little bit. I think he does have some good pairings of Pokemon, like Sandile and Growlithe is a good
Oh,
pairing.
right, I forgot about that one actually.
Yeah.
And I really like that his team has 2 forms of really consistent speed control in the Mantike with Tailwind and the Slowpoke with Trick Room. But I think maybe a little bit lacking on certain mons to capitalize on, especially that Trick Room.
Yeah, that's very true.
So yeah, maybe a little bit lacking in the synergy. But overall, I think it's really solid.
Yeah, I guess Yamask could be a okay Trick Room abuser, but I think he would like something else in that spot.
Yeah, maybe.
Because, well, it's okay. I think another Trick Room sweeper would help his team a lot. Since he already have the very good Slowpoke. Yeah, I think that's
maybe,
one of the only weaknesses.
Yeah,
I
maybe
think
picking up something that Slowpoke could proc the weakness policy on, I think would be really cool.
I agree.
Yeah, I think I rated it quite high,
Yeah.
just because of the Growlithe Sandile, and
Yeah.
like Mantike, and I thought Execute could do a little bit in this as well, especially alongside obviously, it gets Chlorophyll, which just increases its speed, but also it can be a Trick Room one. I think the Yamask is an interesting one because obviously if you put it with Zuriel, huge power,
Yeah.
can kind of capitalize off that with a weakness policy. We saw that in can't remember what series it was, but it just kind of was a team that kind of popped out of nowhere.
Yeah. With
Without yeah,
Runerigus and something else. Was it?
yeah, but without that, I
Was
think
it
it was.
Azurill?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because it was. That's why
Yeah.
it caught my attention because it was
Yeah.
the baby version.
Yeah.
But I think without that, it's like how do you? As I think the Trick Room Sweeper is the difficult one. Obviously,
Yeah.
Slowpoke can do bits in it. Igglybuff, I think that's more of a kind of support one.
Yeah.
And then Dreepy is not the same as Dragapult.
Yeah.
Right.
It's completely kind of underpowered compared
Yeah.
to its full evolution.
The move pool is very shallow, to say the least. Well then, should we move on to the next team?
Yeah.
Sure.
The next team is the Perth Center Scorchers. So this team has the 6B budget with which we have seen great success in earlier. And they have a really strong Sun core with Helioptile, Cottony, and Charmander. What do you think about this draft there?
Yeah, I think that's the thing that caught my attention the most was the Sun core. And then Ramarade is always a good one. It's done well in previous tournaments. But then after you kind of go down the list, and it was kind of like, Sandgast doesn't really get the same impact it does in normal VGC. You can obviously do like Aquajet weakness policy stuff with it.
Yeah.
Especially if you get the Trick Room up. But then looking at this team, unless you get Trick Room up and someone in a strong position, it's very difficult. You need to set them up and get the Trick Room up to really affect it.
I don't think they have a Trick Room setter even. They don't.
No, they don't. No, because Sandygast doesn't get it, do they?
Yeah,
So
that is
I was
why.
thinking it does.
Yeah, that was why I dropped their versatility score quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's understandable. Actually, I did completely forgot that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that is the weakness of this team, I think. The lack of speed control, except for Noibat and the Tailwind.
Yeah.
What do you think,
I
Shark?
mean,
Yeah, I agree with that. With that assessment, the Sun Core is really strong and really scary, but then it kind of falls off a little bit after that.
Yeah,
Um, and so yeah, no, I agree with that. I think prepping for this team, if you can counter that Sun matchup super hard, then you could be a little bit confident going into that match.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I really like Stunky. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Just,
I've always
just a random thought.
it's one of those ones that when we were testing stuff, I always had a little look at,
Yeah,
but never really fitted in because everyone was using all the other ones, and that I think maybe this could be one of the ones that does quite well because it's in a draft instead of in a tournament.
yeah, I
So
agree.
it could be quite interesting to see.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that I agree with that as well. Should we move on to the 11th team of the series division?
Yeah,
Do it.
yeah, that's Zach's team, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Okay. Nose Gone, the really weird logo.
Yeah.
So they got Lilip plus Lowpoke. What do you think about this, everyone?
That's a very scary combo. I used
Yeah.
that to a lot of success in a couple of the regular DPEC tours. So that's
Mhm.
a really scary combo.
Yeah.
And Purloin, I think, can also assist that pretty well because it can use Fake Out to help get the Trick Room up, and then can also even set the rain with Prankster Rain Dance. So
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool A tier picks.
Yeah. And actually, the rain from the Purloin is actually usable in multiple ways. If you look at the bottom of C tier, you will see the Kabuto.
Oh, nice.
So what do you think about the B tiers? I really like them.
Yeah, I like this team. I think, as you've already pointed out, Slowpoke, Lily, already really strong. The Purloin added onto it.
Mhm.
You know, Prankster kind of just in this format is so low. If you can get hold of a Prankster, then
Yeah.
it can be amazing for your team and support this team really well. My only thing is, how do the Torchic and Pagon fit into the team? Like, I'm looking at them and I'm like trying to figure out how it works.
Yeah,
Potentially
that's
maybe a
kind of true.
combination with Pacham, but again, it's like looking at the speed tiers and seeing if you outspeed your opponent to be able to get those gimmicks off or those strategies off
Yeah.
is the kind of thing around the draft that you've got to plan for.
Yeah. I think Yoltic pairs quite well with both Torchic and Bagon actually with the Electrowebs
Yeah,
for
that
some speed control.
could be one could be one way to get the speed control for those
Yeah.
mons, definitely. Yeah.
And Pidove has Tailwind. Well, it's quite slow, so you want like proc it before Torchic and Bagon.
Yep.
But the thing about Torchic is that after turn 1, its speed is pretty good due to it having speed boost.
Yes, yeah, that's the nice thing about it. Is trying to keep it on the field.
Yeah.
That's the hard thing.
Yeah.
So,
I think that this is the first draft where we've seen Swinub picked. Um,
No, I had.
oh, did you have Swinub?
And Loaf of Godly Bread had it as well. But
yeah.
we haven't really talked about it that much.
Yeah.
What are your opinion on Spinub?
I think it has good utility. What was the reason that you drafted it?
I kind of wanted something for flying types actually.
Okay.
Since Larvesta, Rowlet, Gossifleur had some big weaknesses to flying. So I just wanted something more than just Roggenrola to keep them in check. And
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I could use a Swinub for, yeah, just it's a generally just pretty good ice type mon, I think.
Yeah, what I like about it is kind of the same reason why Mamoswine can be good in regular VGC is just that it has that ability Oblivious, so it
Yeah,
can't be intimidated,
Yeah,
which is awesome.
and
Yeah,
especially in
agreed.
my division, where most of the intimidators were picked, I think it will be very nice.
Yeah, for sure.
The only intimidator who wasn't picked in my division, I believe, is Litten. So, yeah. Otherwise, I really like this team.
Yeah, I like the Swine Up as well. I was just looking at the team overall, and I think there's a couple of things you can do with Swine Up as well to
Yeah,
like a few strategies there for it, and I don't think it's a very good pick. I think some of the teams that I've seen Swine Up on, I've gone, okay, yeah, I can see what you're going for there and see
Yeah.
why you've picked it. So I think it's a good pick for most people who have actually picked it.
yeah. Should we go on to the second to last team?
Yeah.
Oh, I rate the oh no, right. This one was also really. Wait, was this one higher? I think
This is, I
this.
think, the highest one we've seen so far. Yeah.
Oh wait, it is. Wait, oh wait, I've just done something wrong with the leaderboard. It seems like. But okay, yeah, this is the highest scored.
This is the highest scored.
I have to fix. I have to fix the leaderboard. It looks really wrong. Now when I'm looking at it again. But yes, Ignite's draft was really nice, I think. What do you think? They started out with the Bulbasaur Voltix.
Yeah, I think it's really solid. I'm curious. You gave it both a 9 in order and synergy. What were your thoughts behind those scores?
So let me just rethink all of my decisions. So to begin with, they have some pretty good combos, like Bulbasaur, a Cyril Roly-Colly, which I'm really excited to see. The weakness of this team, I think, is the pretty weak trick room option. But with Cutiefly, I think Pokemon like Timber don't really care that much. Yeah. What do you think?
I think it's a really strong draft. I actually played just a quick exhibition match
Oh, you did?
yesterday or the day before with Ignite, and they handily beat me.
Okay.
So it's I think they have a lot of really strong Pokemon here, a lot of really strong
Yeah.
cores, really good type coverage, and good strategies to cover a lot of matchups. So
Okay.
I think it's a really strong draft.
Interesting. I really like this draft as well, which you can see on my points. Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah, what's your comment on this, Auro?
yeah, I've maybe probably given it a bit of a low score in synergy looking at it again.
Yeah,
Because I can
probably.
see a couple of combinations that maybe I didn't consider.
Yeah.
Looking at it again, obviously Bulbasaur Vulpix been really strong since the beginning. The only thing that really stopped it was Rufflet.
Yeah.
We don't have Rufflet in this league, and obviously not everyone has access to something that can hit both of them really quick and really hard, which makes it more difficult. I think the one that I'm really interested to see how it does in this team and in the rest of the teams that have picked it is Zeraora.
Yes, I agree.
It's one I was experimenting with before we stopped the tournaments, and I think it had a lot going for it. Not just as like the pesty kind of mon that it is in VGC. I think it actually could be something that you can actually use to kind of go through your teams if you set it up correctly.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm interested to see how they combine because I can see one mon in it that I definitely tested it with, and it worked very, very well when it got pulled off.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give it away, but it worked very well when I tested it out.
Yeah.
I in playing this exhibition match with them, again, I won't give anything away, but I'll say that the Zorua definitely gave me trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really good one. And I'm really excited to see how it does in this league.
For sure.
Do you want to go on to the last team? The last team of the power rankings. Let's go.
Yeah.
This team is Depis with the Dallas Melmetals. What do you think about this one? I was really surprised when he grabbed Frillish and Cube on turn 1, actually. Because he got the turnaround picks, and I actually criticized a lot of the turnarounders for their ability if they used the turnarounds well or not.
Yeah. I looked at this one and I was like, why have you picked Frillish and Cubone? Maybe he's spotted something we haven't.
It's a
And that's
strong
always
Trick Room
the
core.
thing. Yeah, that's definitely the thing. But it's like, Frillish Lilip. Obviously, Lilip was gone by this time.
Yeah.
So do you go, okay, I'm not going to go for Frillish. I'm going to go for something else, and I get 2 picks.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go for something else completely. I mean, Cubone itself can do tons of damage once you get it into the right position.
Yeah.
So it's not the worst pick, and it's one of those I looked at and I was like quite curious to see how it gets set up, because looking at it, there's not a lot of fast on his team.
Yeah.
Trico's probably
slow.
the fastest. Yeah.
And has Trico even a way of activating like weakness policy Unburden? I don't think so.
No.
Not that I can see, no.
Not that I can see really. No, not I can see.
Nope.
No.
And I think this early in the draft, when he has the turnaround pick, why did he not pick an ice type with Ice Shard?
Yeah, that is it. That is a very good point. I think.
I think that would have been a really good combo to pick up this early in the draft.
Yeah, just
like a C tier ice type, and you have a really good and threatening combo.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Sislipede could have waited a bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think I can see some of the merit in the Frillish Cubone combo, because Cubone gets Lightning Rod, which kind of protects the Frillish from electric attacks, and they both can hit pretty hard once Trick Room comes up. But what I feel like is that a lot of this draft is weak to grass types.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got the Sizzlipede, but I think other than that, I think grass types could kind of run a little bit rampant through this team.
Yeah.
Like whoever gets Grookey, whoever has Grookey can, probably won't worry much about the Frillish or the Cubone or the Yamask, or the Wooper or a couple of the other things. So I think that might be a bit of a weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can understand the Sizzlipede pick, because when I was doing my pick, I was like, right, what do we have less of? And I looked at all the typings and I was like, right, we have very little fire. So I was like, I need to grab a fire type early on.
That's true. I can
So
see
I can
that.
understand grabbing it, but then obviously after you do the turnaround, you pick up Trico. If you're thinking you're going to pick up Trico, I agree. Maybe you do drop the fire type and go for an ice type that has Ice Shard.
Yeah. I think that's more value, honestly.
Yeah.
But still, Sislipede is a really good one.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Tyrogue. Can it proc any weakness policies? I don't think so. Because it has both Match Punch and Bullet Punch, which makes it a really good weakness policy procer.
Yeah, there's nothing that's weak to steel or fighting on his team.
Yeah, except
for
Hatena.
No, Hatena's psychic type, so it's not even fairy.
Oh, Okay,
So it's
then
one of those mons that loses its second typing
I
when it's
see.
younger.
Well,
So
I don't really see the Tyrog pick then.
yeah, I don't know whether that one was kind of like, oh, I need a fake out one
Yeah,
to kind of slow the opponent down.
that's
that makes
true.
sense.
Might have been it.
That must have been it.
I got to a point where I was looking at my team and I was like, I need something to slow my opponent's strategy down. You know, I need
okay.
a way to do that.
Okay, I can see that.
So yeah, I think maybe that's potentially the thinking behind it. It might be more.
Yeah.
But definitely could see that maybe being the justification, because that kind of gives him a chance to set up a different mode. You could obviously lead Frillish and Tyrogue if they don't have any kind of option to actually neuter the Frillish, or if you sash the Frillish, then that could be a good option. But
Absolutely.
yeah,
I do wonder why NJ rated this team so high. Both I and you rated him with only 6s, but NJ rated him with 8s and 9s.
yeah. I mean, I can see there's good abilities and some like little combinations.
Yeah.
I think there's some, like we were talking about, there's just little missing links on some of them. Like
Yep.
the Trico is just like a pick that I wouldn't have thought you would have gone for
Yeah.
with this, if you didn't go for an Ice Shard user.
I think one of the possible week 1 trades should be like maybe Wooper for C tier ice type if there are any left. I can check.
Yeah. I mean, you could even get rid of your mask and get a B tier ice type. Obviously, that powers
very
your
true.
team. So, but then, because you've already got sweepers kind of in Cubone and Frillish in your Trick Room, Sizzlipede can do a job.
Yeah, he could.
There is a flexibility in the trades that he can make as well.
Yeah.
So
I'm thinking Vanillet would make a great addition to his team.
Yeah, that actually would be a very good option.
Yeah,
So.
But that's about it. I think that should be everything. This was very fun. I enjoyed it, even though we have had some problems with connection and such. I'll try to edit all of this into a big video and release as soon as possible. But yeah, shall we end it?
Yeah, that's cool. I'm happy with that.
Good luck, everyone, with the league. I've had a lot of fun with DPDL so far.
Yeah, same here. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I'm not playing SharkDad in my league.
Yeah. Well done.
I was like, there's a few players I was just like, I want to avoid.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well done. Let's end it then. Bye-bye, people.
Bye. Have a good day.
Yeah. Good luck, everyone.